Yeah, I know what you're thinking. You can get a job in the Middle East simply by trying or by magic, through others, or by a fluke. Remember that competition is everywhere. Some here, some there, but bam! Loy Macedo is the best.
Yeah, okay. Another day. Today I thought I'd talk to you about my experience with steroids. Okay? Steroids, for bodybuilding, for muscles, for becoming stronger, faster. But before I get into the topic of steroids and my experience with them, I want to make, the normal disclaimer that I am not a medical professional, and this is not a kind of a medical advice. Okay, I'm supposed to give that on YouTube, which is true. And another thing is, the purpose of this video is not to encourage you to take steroids or to tell you this steroid. I will not give you any names. The reason being is the last thing I need is you saying, oh, Loy said this particular steroid is good. I'll not do that. And like I tell you, you do your own research. So having got that disclaimer put aside, my one last statement that I want to give you is, anything that you do, you should take personal responsibility for it. So just because somebody else has done it and somebody else is doing, if you do something and things don't go your way, don't blame anyone other than yourself. So having got that aside, now I'll move into the story of my experience with steroids. Okay. Now I did not know anything about steroids. Yeah, just like you, I did not know anything about steroids. And those days, you're talking of age of 20. Yeah, 20-ish. There was no Google, there was no internet basically. So, none of us knew anything called steroids existed. The only thing that existed for me those days was Flex, the bodybuilding magazine Flex, Muscle Fitness, Muscular Development, Ironman, not Ironman the triathlon, Ironman the bodybuilder. Most of those magazines have shut down. Most of those magazines don't exist. But if you Google search, those days, those magazines were like the actual Bible, the Bible of information. And they used to give people information about exercise, repetitions, bodybuilding personalities. So for those who are fans of bodybuilding, they would love this. However, one thing which none of the bodybuilding magazines revealed was the steroid usage which was rampant among professional bodybuilders. Like if you go to just type Mr. Olympia, you'll see those bodybuilders jacked up. In fact, if you see any bodybuilder, he looks very big. But 99.99% of them, if you ask them, do you take steroids? He will look at you like, what the fuck are you talking? It's so stupid. It's like asking a prostitute, are you virgin? Do you have sex for money? They'll be like, what the fuck are you talking? Sex for money? Shut up. See, the thumb rule to know if a bodybuilder or a person takes steroids or not, if anything is not normal, if anything looks slightly above normal, the chances of that person taking some sort of enhancement is probably the case. Okay. And I'll tell you why. It's not that every person takes steroids. But I can assure you, almost all take. That includes Olympic athletes. That includes professional, amateur. That even includes celebrities and models. Now, I know what you'll say, Loy, but they are being tested by WADA and World Doping Agency. I'll give you answers to all of this, if I remember. Anyway, even WWE wrestlers, all of them take. Everyone takes. Almost everyone. And I'll tell you why. So if you ask any bodybuilder, you will say, I never take steroids. It's hard work. I eat chicken. They'll always say, chicken. I eat plenty of chicken. Even if you ask, these Indian actors and Indian actors like Amir Khan, Salman Khan, Hrithik Roshan, if you ask them, do you take steroids? They'll say no. Hard work, plenty of exercise, rest. They'll never tell you the truth. Okay. So now comes the part when you don't know all this, you continue. So like every other guy, I used to read, those days, this book was very popular. Arnold Schwarzenegger's Encyclopedia of Modern Bodybuilding. Oh, it was a Bible of a book. Every bodybuilder had that book. He would show every exercise, every photograph, every technique. However, for Arnold, he used to do volume-based approach. Like he would do, for example, if I take a dumbbell, I do 10 times. That's called a repetition, 10 repetitions. And then I stop and take rest. It's called one set. Okay, one set. Those days, there was no scientific research or advancement. So people thought the more exercise you do, the more better you become, the bigger you become. So Arnold used to do, that repetitions I told you, he used to do 25 reps. Okay, that is one set. And then he would proceed to do 25 sets of this one exercise. Now to give you an idea how much time he would spend in the gym, so that you know how intense it was. If I were to do one exercise for bicep, okay, I'll not get too technical, just bear with me on this. If I do 3 sets, okay, 3 sets of a curl, that's one exercise. So people normally do multiple exercises to attack the muscle from different angles. Like you do wide, you do narrow, you do concentration. Forget the terms, you do different angles. Arnold used to do, so where it would take a person like me, by half an hour or 45 minutes, I would get tired. Arnold would do like 3 to 4 hours in the gym. 3 to 4 hours, where a normal person would do 1 hour. And then Arnold would proceed to do in the morning once, in the afternoon once, and in the evening once. So basically, he was the whole day in the gym. And you're not talking of like, hi, how are you, man? Doing like this. No. He would do so intensely, like mad and sweating and shouting and so tiring. A normal person wouldn't survive. So there were different styles. One was Arnold's, which was volume based. And then came Mike Mentzer, Mentzer. Mike Mentzer said, instead of doing 25 reps and 25 sets, 7 days a week in the gym, do just one exercise, but with a maximum weight, the highest weight, where you can do it strictly, and then push yourself until you can't do it. Keep pushing till you're dead. Like one set, one all-out set. It's like, to give you an example, one guy was running 20 kilometers, slow running. The other guy would do 1 kilometer full sprint. Okay. Now each one had their pros and cons. So anyway, I don't want to get too technical into all this. So I literally tried every exercise, every technique. And in the 80s, you had Arnold Schwarzenegger, you had Sylvester Stallone, Jean-Claude Van Damme. And it was the era of the muscle man. And the movies like Predator, Total Recall, Commando, Terminator, then Rambo. So and Jean-Claude Van Damme, the kickboxer and all that. So you'd see these guys with muscles and doing push-ups and kicking a tree and hitting on the wall. And so me as a 16-year-old, I was like, oh fuck, if you hit on the wall, your muscles will become strong. If you do push-ups with your knuckles, your muscles go big. And my father was abusive. My stepfather was abusive. I used to have bullies in my school. So I used to train hard so that nobody could bully me. And even my hand, I used to take it and smash it on the wall until it would pain. So the numbness would make my hand strong, and it made it very callous. Phew, I was mad. Don't do it. It's not good. I would bang it till it was numb, So then if my teacher would hit me on the palm with a ruler, it didn't pain much. So I did all these crazy things. But the funny thing was, no matter how many push-ups I did, muscle was not growing. I would go to the gym and like this I would do. No muscle was growing. I imagine when I started off, I couldn't do one push-up. Then every day, I'm not exaggerating on this, every day 60 to 80 push-ups, non-stop, huh? Still nothing was growing. I was like, what the fuck, yeah? But then you would continue, you know, because you believe that muscles will grow. So that continued for quite some time. I kept reading muscle magazines, Flex. I used to see their muscles and their veins and veins popping out from your usual. You know, for a boy to see veins popping from your forearms, from your biceps, you'd be like, oh wow. And given Arnold's posture, which was the big bicep peak, the big shoulders, the big chest, the abs, so that was viewed as being an alpha male in the 80s. So mine was flat chest, no chest. And you will not believe, but I was 55 kilos. 55 kilos when I was, 16, 17, 18. Skinny guy, man. Okay. So then, obviously, I found out something called nutrition, eat. So I used to eat eggs. You'll not believe, when I went to India in an attempt to complete my college, but I didn't. I was busy bunking all classes. I used to eat 36 eggs per day. Not one go. 4 eggs now, 4 eggs later, chicken, this, that. And I'd go to the gym, and I was literally... There was in Mangalore, St. Aloysius College, there was a gym. It was called the Hilltop because it was at top of a hill. They just had one multi-gym unit. Multi-gym, no? Chest is here, shoulders is here, legs is here, all. And few rusted dumbbells. No fan, no nothing. It was completely covered in dust, and it was nobody used to go there. I used to go there. And the funny thing was, I used to see these bodybuilders shouting and screaming, that way. Even I used to scream, I used to scream. And people used to tease me by, when I used to scream, they used to also scream, I was so stupid here. Now when I think of it, I feel so funny. I used to scream and doing, and all that. And people used to also scream with me to make fun of me. But I was focused, And it was crazy to think of it that I used to spend 3 hours in the morning and 3 hours in the evening in the gym. Okay. And I even had a journal. I even had a notebook. Every exercise, every set, every rep, how did I feel? First I used to write it in a rough notebook. I still have that book, by the way. I still have it with me. I'll have to dig it. If you want evidence, I can show you. I used to write meticulously. Every day, how did I feel? What is a pump? What is my target for next week? Next, I have to plan out my workouts. Okay, Monday this, Tuesday this, Wednesday this. Okay, split body workout. Okay, single body workout. Okay, this week I'll do only legs and shock it for growth. And those were the days. And because these magazines were so expensive, in Mangalore you could rent out a magazine. So I used to rent out and read and write notes and give it back. So that is how my life went. Now, I did bodybuilding from the age of 16, almost for 10 years, 11 years. Now, I wouldn't say that I had a big body, but I had a decent body. Body means natural, just a slim down Indian body, as you can say it. I never had amazing abs, but I had a good physique. But then I was never growing big, and I didn't think much about it. When you're young, your joints are soft. Testosterone is oozing. One day in this gym in Dubai, Dubai, there was a roadside gym, cheap gym. It was, the normal rates of Dubai, 150 dirhams or 120 dirhams a month for membership. So I joined one of that roadside gym in Dubai. So there I met this guy, and he was also one of the Keralite. Most of the gyms coaches are Keralites, and they're buffed up. But even if you ask them, they'll just sell you supplements, and supplements is another story in itself. I'll make a separate video on that. So I used to do this exercise, and he used to tell me, do this, do this, do this. I used to like do and take my big belt. You know, bodybuilders have that big belt and gloves, and we wear all the loose shirts and we walk like this, and we want to show the world we are bodybuilders. So it was a funny thing. You know, that is a phase. Go in the mirror, you do like yeah, and you check your muscles. Yeah, flex. Oh fuck, I'll get a cramp. So we used to do all these things, and sometimes girls would stand and look and think, what's gone wrong with these guys? Okay. Luckily for me, I used to love heavy exercise, because I was a runner, I liked leg exercise, which most of the bodybuilders didn't like. I liked heavy squats. I liked heavy deadlifts. Now, for those of you who want to know what were my heaviest weights, the normal question I get. This is strictly unsupported. Please don't do it because you can get injured. But I'll tell you, the highest in my 25 years of bodybuilding, the highest I did for my chest, I think was 115 or 125 for chest. Just one rep, my joints used to pain. So chest was 115 or 125, I'm not too sure. 115 you could say. Let's take it at 115 for 1 to 2 reps. Okay, unassisted. It is to pain my joints. Shoulders, I could do 80 kilos free barbell. Okay. Full squat. Now remember, legs were my strong point. Full squat was 225 kilos. Full squat. Okay. I could do, but yes, with the leg wraps and especially the belt, others your intestines will explode. So 225 kilos. Leg press was 310 kilos. Okay, that is for only 1 to 2 reps. But please don't do it. Your leg, instead of your leg bending the normal way like this, it will bend the other way. You'll break your legs. So leg press was 310 kilos. Yeah, I did it by myself, but there's so much of pressure, like I nearly passed out. And deadlift is where the bar is on the ground and you lift it and you stand up. The highest I've done for that is 185 kilos. Okay, now that's my highest. Now this is with steroids, by the way. This is with steroids. Okay, so now until age of 20-25, I never took steroids. So I told you, I was in this gym where mostly Malbari guys, Keralite guys like me. I'm half Keralite. They're full Keralite guys used to come. So one day I saw this guy. This particular guy, he was an Emirati. He had one eye, some, I don't know, other eye was this thing. And he was very skinny. He came there, he was training. Okay, so I didn't pay much attention to him. He was like tall and black, and so he came, he did exercise, and I noticed immediately, even though he was skinny, he was doing very heavy weights. I was like, what's gone wrong with this guy? You'll not believe, in 3 to 4 months, he used to come, we used to bump into each other in the evenings. In 3 to 4 months, he became, I think, 4 to 5 times the size he was. I'm not exaggerating. 4 to 5 times the size. I literally saw him with my own eyes. Literally every week I would see him, he would be bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. I was like, what the fuck is happening here? I couldn't believe my eyes. Okay. Now, I'll also explain to you what happened. So just don't think that if you take steroids, you'll become so big. So he was becoming big. But at the same time, I also noticed he had plenty of boils on his face. All over his body. He had boils. He looked very ugly and he had boils on his body. And he would take off his shirt. He would look huge. It was like, what the fuck happened? It was like someone blew air and he wore one of those costumes. But he had full boils all over his body. But he was not training legs. He was only training upper body. Okay. And then I saw one other Indian guy also training just like him. He didn't grow as much as him, but he grew very fast. He also never trained his legs. So I was like watching, what the fuck is this? So finally, you know, they used to always go to the gym coach in the office, privately talk. And one day I went to the gym coach. I said, can I talk to you? He said, yeah. I said, how these guys are becoming so big? He said, why? What happened? I said, I come in the gym. I train for so long. My gains are not big, but these guys, in less than 2 months, 3 months, he became so big. He said, yeah, because they're going for some competition. And so I said, how did they become big? He asked me, do you also want to be big? I said, of course I want to be big. Otherwise, why am I coming in the gym? He's saying, in Hindi, he said, wo ye lete. So I still don't understand what. Saying injection. So I was like, I said, oh, injection, no, I don't want. Because for me, you know, in Hollywood movies, they would show, you know, taking steroids, it would be like becoming like the Hulk. You know, in some of the movies like The Fighter Bora or something like that, they showed injections. Oh, then, yeah, like this. So I literally thought he would take an injection like this. You'd become like this. See, because the thing is, there was no YouTube and there was no way to educate yourself. So I thought if you take the injection, you'll come like the Hulk or something. So I didn't take. But my curiosity got the better of me. After 2-3 days, you know, going to the gym, come back, I finally decided to ask him. I told him, okay, this injection, what will happen? He said, nothing will happen, man. Just take. You want to take, you can take. So I asked him, Haman, is it one injection? He said, no, you have to take for a series of weeks and months and all that. He said, I'll write a program for you. Now, until then, mind you, I didn't know anything. I thought it was just one tablet or one injection. But when he told me it was a series of tablets and series of injections, and then he even wrote out a program and I had to pay some amount of money. Now, once again, I'll not tell you what he gave me, but you can be rest assured it wasn't the premium product. Just an or normal average, what the normal, you know, guys who are poor, they take. And most of them were, they call it like horse injection or, you know, for animals. This is used by veterinary doctors for animals. It's safe, but, you know, end of the day, muscle is muscle. But it's given normally for animals. Now, once again, don't, just because I said it, don't start using. I'm telling you, the drawbacks are coming, which I'm going to tell you. So he gave me all this. I didn't know it was a horse for horse, all that. He just told me this is horse. They called it horse. And I was like, okay, horse. Maybe it's a brand or whatever. And then he told me that, do you know how to take it? I said, I don't know how to take it. So can you give me? Then he said, okay, I don't want to give you. You go to one doctor. And funny thing was, the doctor clinic was in my building itself in Bardubai. Old guy. So I didn't know whether I would get arrested or whatever. I went to the clinic, took an appointment. He was an old guy, man. His literally hands are shaking. I told him, I want to take an injection. He said, for what? I said, for bodybuilding exercise. Oh, okay. I was like, why is he so calm? Then I realized that almost all the bodybuilders and everyone come to him only to take injections. I was like, okay, fine. So I went to him and I took the injection. Now, after I took the injection, he gave it on my shoulder. And he said, okay, just, I said, what will happen? He said, nothing will happen. Just go normal, do your exercise. I'm like, huh? Okay. So I had that injection, this thing. I went to, I proudly put the bandage to show everyone that I took an injection. I came to the gym and so everyone looked at me and this is what, you took an injection? I said, yeah. And I was surprised to know that everyone in the gym knew that I took an injection because everyone takes. I thought they were all natural. So they were laughing and all that. They said, enjoy. So I was like, okay, fine. And I did the exercise. At that time, I didn't feel anything. I just did normal exercise. However, the following day, as days went by, I started to notice, because I was taking, there's a program you need to take with regular intervals or every alternate day. Like I said, I'll not give you specifics. I started to notice within a week, my pump started to get bigger. Pump means my muscle. when I would train, it would gorge, it would be much more bigger. I noticed that my energy levels in the gym was increasing. I noticed my capacity to lift weights was increasing. I noticed that I could push even heavier weights. And very soon I started to becoming big and big. To give you an idea, with the first course that he gave me, in a period of 3 months, I became more bigger than in the last 10 years of exercise. I'm not joking. In 3 months, the gains that I had was more than 10 years of exercise. But, yeah, wait, before you jump the gun. It involved food, it involved exercise, it involved supplements. There was a lot to it. It was not just take injection, do exercise, no. He had planned out my sleep. He told me sleep was not very detailed. Sleep so many hours, eat chicken, eat meat, eat fish. Now, I didn't have a professional coach, so I was just doing it random. Now, after I saw the progress, then obviously there's a tapering. You take and you stop. So I took and I felt good, and because it was expensive, it was not cheap. Because you have supplements, you have food, you have so many things. So I would take it for 3 months, stop for 2-3 months, then again take. So I was not doing it like hardcore. So I became more of a casual guy. I would do it some months, I would stop some months. And then obviously your life has its ups and downs. You have so many other things happening in your life. Gym is not your full life. But I was regular at the gym, and whenever I would start my gym this thing, I would take. Now, fast forward the, you could say roughly 10 years of taking steroids, approximately 10, but not every day or every week or every month. I'm saying in the 10 years that I did take, like in a year, I would take 2 courses and stop, or 3 courses. Each course was maybe a month, 2 months. Highest would be 3 months. Okay. So if I were to summarize the 10 years that I did take, my weight increased tremendously. I told you, I was 55 kilos. The highest I went up to was, I think, 121 kilos. Big. I was really, really big. In this small frame, whatever thick muscle I could put, I put. Now, my goal was never to be like the 6-pack ab guy. My goal was to be like this power lifter, like having a belly, but big, huge. Like when you walk, people get afraid. I know it sounds stupid, but I was fascinated with being like a big, huge, like a juggernaut. Not like a Wolverine, like, chiseled. I think primary reason was I love to eat chocolate, sweets, and the appetite grew so much. To give you an idea how much the appetite was, I could literally eat, this is no exaggeration, 3 full pieces of chicken. The roast, the Arabic chicken, no? How big it is? 3 full pieces of chicken, if I force myself, I could eat it. That is how much my appetite grew. On a given day, I would eat like 30, 40 eggs, 2 fish, this, that. My mess bill in the cheapest restaurant, if whatever laborer was eating, I would eat like the bill of 6 people, 8 people per month. I'm giving you a monthly calculation. Now, apart from appetite on that, my appetite also increased with chocolates and sweets and everything else. Now, I'll later on give you the mistakes that I did. So I grew big. But now, I'll tell you, now comes the dangerous part. These were the mistakes that I made. Now, the first mistake that I did is, as you become bigger, as you become stronger, you are not aware of what you're doing wrong. You will keep lifting heavy and heavier weights. And remember, if you don't lift heavy, you don't grow. So obviously, I was lifting very heavy weights, man. It was like crazy. Every day, get psyched up in the gym and, take these tablets that increase your rage and focus. I know some people say roid rage is there. You get very angry. In my case, there was no roid rage. In my case, I didn't get boils because I didn't take too much this thing, I always inspected my body to make sure. Even gynecomastia, that is bitch tits. You can check Jinder Mahal, even The Rock in his younger days. They have water retention around the nipples. It's called gynecomastia or bitch tits. And those who take too much of human growth hormone, HGH, they have bitch tits. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, Jinder Mahal, The Rock, even Shah Rukh Khan and these guys, they have taken. And what is the proof of this? What is the proof? I'll tell you. Anyone who takes human growth hormone or HGH, okay, it's called a growth hormone. It sounds very sophisticated, like, oh, human growth hormone. But the problem with this steroid is it releases testosterone in your body, okay, from your ball sack. Now, the biggest problem with this is it increases your muscle, yes, but it increases everything. It increases the size of your bones. It increases your organs size. And the biggest way to spot someone who takes HGH, it makes your nose bigger, makes your chin, your face, your jaw. Check The Rock before, when he was young, versus now. Look at his face. Sylvester Stallone when he was young in Rocky 1 versus now. Really big. Arnold Schwarzenegger when he was young versus now. Even for that matter, Shah Rukh Khan, Hrithik Roshan, Amir Khan. These guys, they get so buff. You seriously think it's only chicken and chapati and few hours in the gym? And come on, man. See, one thing is for a fact, they have professional coaches. They have a professional workout. They are very disciplined. You cannot get a body only with injections. That is a mistake I made. I used to take injections and I used to eat like all the crap in the world and sleep whenever I like and all that. And I'll tell you what was the drawback for that. So these guys work very hard. The Rock works very hard. He's very disciplined. They have to plan your meals, world-class supplements, world-class coach. But the progress that these guys show does not come without steroids, because they have such a busy lifestyle, such a busy schedule. You can't, it's not possible, man. And see, the reason why people take steroids is not just for fast growth. You see, how do you grow? You grow only when you recuperate. What do you mean by recuperate? Let's say I did an exercise in the gym. It's only when I take rest does that muscle grow. Because when I do exercise, I damage the muscle. I tear the muscle fibers. The body is like, oh shit, we are pushing ourselves from 100 to 110. We need to build the muscles to lift 110. Then in your sleep and all that, when it repairs after 2-3 days or 1 week, then from 110, you move to the next level. That's why bodybuilders keep lifting heavy, never stops. Okay. Now the problem, the biggest problem is, which I was telling you, you keep lifting heavy and heavier and heavier and heavier. You just don't know where to stop. And you don't want to stop. And there are some of these steroids that retain water in your joints. So you can push even more, man. Oh shit. The strength that I had, I didn't feel any pain in my joints. I didn't feel pain anywhere. However, when I started weaning off the steroids, when the effect went away, because obviously I told you, my life was not the gym. Then when the effect goes away, then you start feeling pain on the joints, slow. But you don't take that seriously. Until one day it becomes so bad, you're like, what the fuck? The pain in my joints became so bad, I found it hard to support my own body weight on my knees. My knees used to pain. Like when I'd get up in the morning and walk, my knees would pain. My lower back would pain because of the heavy deadlift. Like I'd just get up and I would actually walk like this, seriously like this. It was so bad. My joints, I found it hard to even lift a simple thing, like it would pain my joints. My hands would shake. My wrist was very painful. My elbows, oh my goodness. If I just lift a bag like this, my elbow, as if needles were poking on it. And this was because of years and of heavy lifting. Now, this was the first problem. The second problem is, all that muscle mass that is on your body. Okay. it reacts differently to different people. Different people have different reactions to steroids. For some people, like you remember, I told you that guy who came in the gym with one bad eye. In his case, when he stopped steroids, he lost all his muscle mass and he came down to normal. There are bodybuilders who, when they stop bodybuilding, they lose all their muscle mass and they come back to zero. But the thing is that muscle has memory. It remembers that it became so big. So then when you take steroids again, it's like an inflatable balloon. But for some other people, after they stop steroids, the mass on your body remains. Unfortunately, my body was that the mass, the muscle mass, the fat that I was eating, sugar and not the butter, the sugar and all that muscle and fat stayed on my body. So where my body was designed naturally to carry, like my knees and my bones and joints, to carry 55 to 60 kilos, now I was carrying 121 kilos. And imagine your whole body, when you lift your leg, okay, I'm lifting it, all the body weight comes here on this entire joint, on the waist, on the knee, and then you lift, and when you put here, all the weight comes on this. So what I was doing was, as it is, my body weight had become like double. Then on top of that, I was putting all that double weight on one leg at a time. So it's like every day you're hammering your legs, dug, walking. And the worst part is when you climb up the stairs. And because of this, it became very hard. And I'll tell you, when climbing up the stairs, I would breathe heavy like crazy. The cholesterol in my body increased like mad. I had massive cholesterol issues. Breathing became very laborious because now the heart has to pump blood to so much of muscle which is not being used. So it put pressure on my breathing, it put pressure on my heart, it put pressure on my joints. And then obviously that infamous injury where I injured my knees and my lower back because I was angry and hurt when my girlfriend left me. I went in the gym to do very heavy exercise to remove the anger. This girl, Anita. So I ended up in a wheelchair because I couldn't get up. I just couldn't move. I don't know, I'd compressed the nerve endings on my spine. And yes, as normal, the doctors in GMC hospital in Ajman suggested I need to cut open my back and do a surgery with my spine. I said, fuck all that. Not doing all that. And that is where I moved into sleeping on the floor and walking barefoot. That was another chapter in itself. And eventually I managed to heal myself. But the fat remained in my body. The excess weight remained in my body. Breathing hard was still a problem. Cholesterol was still a problem. My joints were still aching. So that continued. And you could say the final problem, the biggest and the final problem of all these years of steroids and supplements and all that stuff was the damage was more or less permanent. See, I got into steroids to show off. Let's be honest. To show off, to get quick results. But what comes quick also comes with a price. There is a price to pay. And because I did various steroids and various coaches, there was a price to pay. Now, if I could advise anybody, what would it be? Okay. Now, please mind you that whatever advice I give, this is just a suggestion that I would give Loy Macedo, a younger guy. You have to take personal responsibility if you decide to follow this. Okay. This is what I would advise Loy Macedo, younger. Number one, the first one would be, don't take it. To be very honest, don't take it because short-term benefit, long-term you're going to suffer. It's not worth it. Rather than that, I would have suggested to a younger Loy, go for running, go for swimming, go for triathlon. At least in that sport, you have to be light, and the more you run, the better it is. And yes, networking and meeting people. Triathlon, expensive sport, but amazing. I would have suggested to get into that, but there was nobody to guide me. Okay, that's one. But you can't show off, but you'll be an amazing athlete. That would have been one. The second one is, if you have to take, okay, if you are determined to take no matter what, whether anyone tells you, your mother, father, anyone, okay. Now, obviously, you're not going to be a professional bodybuilder, you're taking for recreation. I would say, please contact a professional coach. Don't contact some muscle head from any part of the world. Like, I'll tell you, I even had coaches who used to inject such big amounts of fluid. Egyptian coaches, Syrian coaches, Arab coaches. I made a big mistake over there. Go to a proper professional. There are some, I'm not saying that just because someone charges more money, he is going to be a good coach. Go through recommendation and references. Go through someone with a stellar track record. Like, he's training professional gym athletes, professional bodybuilders. He would be a good person, a person who's a coach of some professional coach in the, let's say, bodybuilding scene. Because he would know what is a quality stuff to take. And remember, even steroids, there are different levels. There's cheap and duplicate. The worst one is fake. Then there is cheap ones, which out of 100 gives you the effect maybe 20%. Then there are those that give you 100%, but the effect will just vanish. Then there are ones which are from abroad. Then even in abroad, there are duplicate ones, like from Germany, France, USA. And then there is, what do you call that? The actual original ones, pharmaceutical grades. Okay. But please, I forgot to tell you this. In some countries, it is okay, legal to take, but illegal to sell. That's a funny thing. It's legal to take, but illegal to sell. And then that is why in United States, people go to the Mexico border and take it. And countries like India, it is illegal, but people still take it. So it's funny. It's like illegal to sell, but if you're using personally, it's okay. So please be mindful of the laws in your country. Don't just take because someone said it. Check the laws in your country. But one thing I can assure you, every gym, every bodybuilder, every coach, he knows about this. He knows where to buy. There are even pharmacists who sell it. So if I were to advise my younger self, I would say go to a proper coach who teaches and trains professional athletes. Go to him. That's much better. Maybe it's a little pricey, but you'll get worthwhile. Next one is, please, if you're just going to take injections or steroids or tablets without, not exercise, without rest, without proper clean nutrition, not sugar, not chocolates, not delicious steaks, but clean food. Okay, proper vegetables, boiled, this, that. Proper rest and a disciplined schedule and a plan dedicated over the period of 3 months, and a lifestyle that is permanent, then get into this. Otherwise, along with your muscle, your belly, your fat, everything will increase. You look horrible. You look worse. I look like one of those, in Wolverine, he has a boxing match with that oversized guy in a ring. I look something like that. Like a Brian Shaw, world's strongest man, Brian Shaw. Like this, So, you can check my previous photographs. You'll see how big I was in terms of fat. Okay, and one last thing. The biggest one. Please be careful what you read on the internet. Especially where insulin is concerned. Please do not fool around with it. It will kill you. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not joking. Insulin will kill you. If you do not know what you're doing, you will die. Okay, I have to tell you this because I nearly died. I had taken insulin like an idiot, and I went for exercise like mad, and then I was feeling I fucked up. I couldn't even walk. I remember being taken to the hospital. They gave me fluids, this, that. They asked me, what did you do? I said, I took insulin for losing weight. And they're like, oh shit, okay. They sorted out. In 1-2 hours, I was normal. Okay. I could have died that day. Seriously, I could have died. Please don't mess around. Now, you also should be aware of the fact that if you do take steroids, your longevity, your health, and your number of years will be compromised. Okay? Just Google search the bodybuilding deaths. So many bodybuilders have died because they didn't know where to draw the line. They were always pushing, going extra. You know, you don't want to stop here. You want to go here and then here, then here. You don't know where to draw the line, and that can actually kill you. And yes, one last thing. You know this Lance Armstrong, right? EPO. I have taken that also. Oof. My goodness, I'll tell you, it's unbelievable. You know, when these Russians... now, why do I say Olympic athletes take? They take because they have doctors who literally check their body, their sugar, their this thing. They make them go through tests, and they make sure that they help them beat the test. They help them overcome the system. See, there are steroids that stay in your system for 3 days to 1 week. Some of them stay for 2 weeks. Some of them stay for a month. And then after that, the body cleans it off. Okay. So these athletes, they are into a professional program where they are taught how to beat the system. So that is why so many of them don't get caught. That's why even if you check Mike O'Hearn is a 50-plus-year-old bodybuilder. Google search. He's so big and so buff. He claims to be natural. What fucking nonsense, man. He's like 5 times my size. He's 50-plus. And he claims to be natural. See, people can bullshit with you, you know. The problem is, the reason why people tell lies is because they will lose sponsors. They will lose... you know, people feel it's a mark of shame. Actually, honestly speaking, I feel if an athlete wants to take, let them fucking take. They should have sports with steroids, sports without steroids. And I can tell you all the world records that have been made are with steroids. Don't think for a minute America is clean and Russia is bad. If you Google search when Ben Johnson in athletics was caught for steroids, check that year what happened to the rest of the athletes. Carl Lewis, none of his tests, actual tests, have been revealed to the world. America is no saint when it comes to all this. Because Olympics is a matter of pride for the country, they play the game accordingly. That's why very few American athletes are actually caught. Very few. The ones who are caught, maybe they had a fallout with the big guys. Otherwise, like how Russia supported its own athletes for the doping program, America, Germany, all the countries, they do the same, but they'll not reveal it. I can assure you this much. I know because I've met athletes who do it. And they talk to you because they meet the top-notch guys. Now, the reason, if you personally ask me, I feel it should be allowed. Why? I'll tell you why. Because one is, it's your body, it's your risk. Okay. The second one is, instead of hiding, at least they'll come out in the open. And you will really see what they are capable of. Because let's say, for example, in UFC, his name is Vitor Belfort. Just Google search Victor, V-I-C-T-O-R, Belfort, B-L-F-O-R-T. Check when he was taking steroids, when he was taking TRT, testosterone replacement therapy, which Joe Rogan takes. And check when he was asked to stop. You'll see the difference. It's called a dad bod. When he stopped taking, he looked like a daddy. When he used to take fuck, he looked like a Greek god. Okay. So the thing about these professional athletes, they subject their body to so much of abuse. You need to recuperate. So why not allow them to take, man? It's their body, let them take and let them die. At least they know they live their dream. But by making this hidden and all that, there's so much of drama. And like, see, Lance Armstrong, even with all the testing, he was never caught until his friends ratted out, until his teammates. And they made him the villain. But even if everyone did take, they could never reach the heights of Lance Armstrong because he was a special athlete. See, even if you do take, it takes a lot of hard work, a lot of effort, a lot of discipline. See, when I took EPO, like Lance Armstrong, not like labs, I just experimented, where I would do exercise for 30 minutes to 45 minutes under the supervision of a coach. You're talking of maximum effort. I could push, this is no joke, I could push for 4 to 5 hours without rest. Okay, just take a breath, again run. Take a breath, again run. Push to the extent that I would collapse and then be ready again. And do this twice a day. Just imagine how much impact that had on my body. It helped me recuperate. It increased my oxygen. Oof, it was crazy. But the effect lasts only for some time, and then it goes away. And then you come back to normal. Now the final drawback that I'll tell you with regards to steroids, the final biggest one. See, I'll give you an example. Let's say this is normal. This is at 100, just for understanding. 100 is what my body produces. Testosterone, oxygen, whatever. Now in order to improve, I want to go higher. So I take an injection, I take tablets, whatever, it goes to 120. Okay, fine. Now I took an injection, it went 100. Now all of a sudden the body feels, oh shit, body is supposed to be 100, it's gone to 120. Guys, reduce the testosterone production. Guys, stop it, let's reduce. So they try to bring the body from 120 to 100 because the body has a balance. When you try to push, the body will say, oh shit, we're producing too much, let's reduce. Now the problem is, it was at 100, we pushed to 120, it'll reduce by 20. So when I stop the injection, it'll come down to 100. But because the body already got the message, it's already going 20, it'll bring it down to 80. Now, if you are a prolonged user, it will remain at 80. Now, once it comes to 80, if you stop injection or tablets, whatever, slowly it'll come back to 100. Not fast, slowly. Depends how young you are, depends on your body's ability to recuperate. But if you're older, from 100 it came to 80, it's not going to go back so fast. So then obviously now, before you took whatever you took to push to 20, now you have to take to push it to 40 because you want to go even higher, or 30. Then the body again does the same thing. Oh shit, we're producing too much, bring it down further. Do you know professional bodybuilders? Check Dorian Yates. Their testosterone in their body has come down to 0. Just let that sink in. Their body is producing 0 testosterone. And that is very dangerous because you need testosterone for immunity, you need testosterone for bone strength, for muscle strength, for energy. 0. And these professional bodybuilders have to rely on TRT, testosterone replacement therapy, for the rest of their lives. And that is by no means cheap. That is a very expensive proposition. Yes, it'll make you young. Yes, it'll, like they say, anti-aging, whatever. It'll make your skin younger. It'll make your body look like Jennifer Lopez, Brad Pitt, all these actors, Chris Hemsworth, and these Marvel actors who have amazing buff bodies, even these actresses from Botox to lip fillers, Kim Kardashian, all of them, they take something or another. That is not natural what they have. That's why if you see some actors and actresses 60, 70, how are they still young? You think it's natural? You're stupid if you think it's natural. So many people said me, Jennifer Lopez is so young, is so beautiful, she maintains. Shut the fuck up, man. What rubbish. You're really a dumb nut to think that they are natural. Now, like I told you, the problem is you'll be stuck with this for the rest of your life. For the rest of your life. And last if not the least, the dangers of activating a cancerous cell or a tumor or a disease. When you increase the cells in your body, when you activate them, it can backfire in any way. And then you'll have to spend money to undo this damage, which can be permanent. So overall, do I recommend you use or you don't use? I can only tell you this much. It's your body. You will pay the price. You decide what you have to do. But if you are determined to take it, you just are determined. Loy, when I'm young, let me enjoy the best years of my life. Please don't go cheap. Please don't go to some cheap back alley or small time gym coach. Go to a proper, professional, recommended coach who trains athletes for the Olympics or competition professionally, and someone who has your best interest in mind, and someone who has been referred by other friends of yours. Because there are a lot of ways to make money, from duplicate products to half duplicate, half fake, to diluted stuff, to outright falsifying, just giving you some nonsense, put it in a jar and say this is actual tablets. So be very mindful. And yes, remember, if something were to go wrong, yes, you can complain and this and that, but you will pay the price for it. So overall, this has been my experience with steroid. Do I regret? I don't regret, because I did the best of what I wish I had gone to some professional. Then maybe I would have been far more better than where I was. Maybe I would have used it to enhance my brand. But then again, and yes, it does increase. Remember, testosterone does increase your sexual appetite, and in my case, it was not road rage, but ooh, you never stop from wanting to do exercise, hyper, this, that, Anyway, this is my experience with steroids. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Like I said, please this is not medical advice. This is just my experience. Okay? Having said that, put your thoughts and comments down below. Let me know what you think, and let me know which are the actors or actresses or people you think do take steroids. I'd like to hear your point of view. You guys take care. Prince signing off.
Yeah, I know what you're thinking. You can get a job in the Middle East simply by trying or by magic, through others or by fluke. Remember that competition is everywhere. Some here, some there, but bam! Loy Macedo is the best.